American farming has changed dramatically in the last century. Long gone are the days of horses and hand plows, a time when most Americans lived and worked on farms. Today, America is the largest agricultural producer in the world. Our farms are bigger than ever. Producing more and more. Run by chemicals and combines. Men and machines. But now that is changing too.
My name is Lynn Garling. I'm 56 years old and I'm a farmer. And I've always wanted to be a farmer, and now I'm farming.
My name is Kim Tate. I am a small business owner and actually have a farm, and I consider myself the stewardess of the land.
My name is Ellie, and I'm a new farmer. Considering other generations, I'm the first generation farmer.
I'm Susie Shabby. I'm an organic farmer. I provide fresh fruits and vegetables and canned items at farmers markets, and I sell them to health food stores.
20 years ago, people didn't recognize that women were doing anything in agriculture. And it's hard for them to be recognized as farmers even if they were farming. Few women who were farming on their own would even call themselves farmers.
Well, that's kind of like when we were talking about that, you know you're a farmer when, or you know you're a rural woman when, and it had all this list of stuff. And I said, oh, I can think of several things to add to that right away. And one of them was, besides your coveralls, the thing with most cow shit on it is your pajamas. Because you're always jumping up, you know, something's happening. Oh, the cows are out, you know, you have to run and get them. You know, and so you're like, okay, you put your boots on, you got your pajamas, you put on your jacket, that's it. You come in and like, ew, okay, well, I guess I'll change these. Or maybe not, maybe you're too tired. But it's a different lifestyle, and it takes some getting used to. Come on, buddy. I have always been interested in farming for no apparent reason, and never had the chance to farm growing up. We lived all over the world and lived in apartments and houses and suburbs and things like that. But frankly, my true love always was cattle. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. For years I was farming on other people's land, doing what I could, having big gardens, but it got to the point where I didn't have enough control over events. I wasn't going to marry a farmer to get land, but I didn't want to be a farm wife. I was a farmer. I wanted to do it. So I thought, okay, it may be late, but if you really want to have your own farm, you have to do it. You know, get off the pot and do it, as they say. So I've been here since 1998. Having my own farm has made all the difference because you can make your own decisions. So I found that very empowering to be able to have my own actual physical farm. So the acreage, like tillable acres, is 24. That's enough to keep you off the streets, 24 acres. You guys ready to move? Come on. Come on. There's something calming about dairy cattle to me. They're not stupid. Everybody thinks cows are stupid. But they have a certain calmness about them that we can learn from. And besides, they burp up methane and can stick their tongue in their nose. I mean, you know, that's a talent. You really have to use your whole creativity and your whole body and your whole self and your whole energy. There are no immediate consequences of what you do in a job that's in an office, whereas in farming, you live with your consequences. That's what I like about it. It's very challenging but very rewarding.
The latest census data says 27% of farmers are women. Women are farming more on their own now than they used to.
They're clearly on the rise and are probably one of the fastest growing groups in agriculture.
This is my first garden. There's going to be a second, and then I have a couple acres out back that will eventually turn into more of like a crop field type thing. I let the pumpkins just take over. I can't believe it. They went down the aisles. They went everywhere. They're up on the fence. They're growing prolifically, and they're taking over the garden. Look at here. One grew right up into the tomatoes. To me, this is outstanding. I just think it's so cool. Just growing stuff in general, you know, it's just the best. I was actually a writer/researcher in the guest relations department at Target headquarters. I was at Target for about 14 years almost, a lot of years. You know, when you're in a corporate world, you're not really yourself. No one's themselves. I think I got to the point where, combined with my age and realizing what I really love doing, which is basically gardening, and the idea that what I'm doing at a corporate level no longer made any sense to me, I had to make a decision, and I thought about it, and I thought about it for probably 3 years before I finally got enough nerve to make a big move, and I got out of it, and I was just so glad that I did it. This is like the perfect size, I think. They're the most tender.
Women tend to be transitioning into farming from other occupations that were either unfulfilling or something they did for the first 20 years of their career, and they're interested in doing something else now.
A lot of women are getting into this because they're interested in good quality, high quality food for their communities and for their families.
Or they want to have children and they want to raise them outside of a city.
I really wanted to get out away from the city with my son and everything, especially. I just thought that wasn't the perfect life for him. He has blossomed since he's been here. And here it's just all about what you can do as a person. He's in 4-H, he's shown calves. He comes home and he's got manure up to his knees on his jeans and they're raggedy at the bottom, and he's wearing scuffery old boots.
My favorite thing? I don't have a favorite thing. It's all my favorite. Not as much pollution and sirens and noise. Get to have more pets. Because in the cities you can't have pigeons, because now there's a law that you have to have a leash on each one of your pets. And I don't get how you're going to have a leash that goes 600 miles long.
Like my husband says, is a passion, you know. Who else would spend 18, 19 hours at the farm and still like it? 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But you have to enjoy what you do, and you know, I do get a lot out of these animals on the farm. I enjoy what I do. You go down. I was working at FedEx at the time to help the income. But when the contract wasn't renewed with FedEx, I said, oh. So I said, well, here I go, and I plunged into it. And fortunately, and I think everything has its way of happening, I wound up at the green markets. So we've been retailing out of the green markets of New York City for the last 3 years. We sell goat cheese, we sell goat yogurt, and we sell goat meat. I started it as a health item for my family, and I truly still am health orientated. So a lot of the cheeses I make are semi-soft fresh, which are easily digestible, and protein and calcium mineral wise, they're better for the human. Hey guys! Did you see the 2 new ones? 2 little girls! It's been a rough start because I built all this from scratch. So the buildings, everything that's here, and I still have a long way to go. I think the more men get out of farming because they're burned out, more women tend to look at it as like, I can do that. Why can't I do that?
I didn't choose it, it chose me. It sounds flippant, but it's true, and I say it sincerely. When I met and fell in love with David Tate in the late 1980s, we were a team here together doing the things we did. And then when he passed away, I was at a decision place in my life. Was I going to stay here and continue the work we had begun, or was it just time to go? And I think that after some soul searching, the resounding truth of what I needed to do was to stay.
Previously, it was always one of the sons who got the farm, and now some women are inheriting the farms.
We have about 10 acres of certified organic fruits and vegetables and grow food for 160 members in a community-supported agriculture project. We manufacture specialty food products and have about 40 things that we make here on the farm. We have a retail store that sells our food products, a little bit of our produce, and then we buy a lot of other locally, regionally produced items. We do a lot of different things.
Often they're getting into niche markets where they can make a lot of money with less land and maybe less labor available to them.
There you go. Oh, thank you. Bye-bye. I have 2 full-time farmers. Rebecca has 4 years of farming experience in Minnesota and has come here as her next step.
I've been working on organic farms because I really believe that not only is the food more nourishing that we're creating and growing, but that it's a sustainable thing for the land, that it is a way to make sure farmland can stay in farmland and that it will continue to produce nutritious food for communities.
And this is probably like a half a bushel, something like that. This would be my first major crop that I'm bringing to farmers market. So if I get this thing full, I'll be happy. Organic is the right thing to do. It's good for your health, it's good for the environment, and the more that you learn about what they put in food nowadays, it isn't about the label anymore, it's what's not in the label.
Conventional agriculture with, $100,000 combines is extremely capital intensive. And it's not that women can't leverage capital, it's that they're less willing to put themselves in that kind of position.
It's tough to compete. You've got these farmers out there who are using chemicals and pesticides, and they've got huge farms, and they're selling, the quart size or the pint size or whatever for $2 or $3, and I could never compete with them. You have to really have a client base that really appreciates organic.
It's both environmental, it's economic, it's health. When you're farming 1,000 acres of corn and soybeans year after year after year and having to support it with pesticides or herbicides, it's a dependent system. So I think that there probably is a sacrifice in the quality of food. We've gotten away from understanding what a seasonal diet might look like and what seasonal food truly tastes like. I mean, you can't get corn in February that tastes like corn you get in August.
Some women are attracted to more sustainable agriculture. They might care more about the environment, more about their local food system, and there is this demand for more local food, healthier food, organic foods. They haven't been places where men have just been producing, so it gives women more opportunity to get in there.
Right over here. This is kind of where our fields start. Here's the tomato planting right now where you're getting your tomatoes. The piles of dirt over on the side. Here's one to try part of an apple.
I'm finding now there's this real concern that women have with giving back to their communities as well.
Tonight is our summer celebration for our families that are part of Community Harvest, which is our community-supported agriculture project. And it's a potluck, and we have a whole group of people come and their families and their kids, and everyone brings food, and so we're having a food and garden party.
By and large, across the board, women that I've talked to have a really well-developed social conscience, and they really want to have their farm be a source of income and a livelihood for them and a home for their children. But they also want it to be a resource for the community, a place where people can come to learn, to relax, to have good food, to have a good family kind of experience. So they're constructing their farms as sort of community centers, de facto community centers, which is really interesting. And you can't really do that on a hog farm with like 8,000 hogs in a shed. People don't really want to come there.
Does anyone need hats, water, sunscreen?
Oh, today we have a group of volunteers who have come to the farm to help weed our asparagus patch.
Oh man! Mom, can you get this dirt off?
They're active, they need to be outside. This is a great place for that. We came on the tour last week and we enjoyed it. Decided to come back and work this Saturday. I'd like for them to eat healthier than I did when I was young, and I figure if they see me picking out and eating vegetables, they're likely to try it.
Do you like eating vegetables?
Yeah.
So I really want the farm to be like breathing. The farm to me in the community is sort of an anomaly, and I think it provides no end of amusement to my neighbors. I think it opens people's minds, whether they like it or not, you know, because they see it, it's there, and it's working, and it keeps working no matter how many times they think it's nuts. I don't want it to just be its own little, like, insular thing. I'd like it to be something where people can come and learn and envision new possibilities for themselves just by having been able to see somebody doing something that they can adapt for themselves. Think of how many people go to a job every day they hate, they get in a car, they sit in the traffic, they go to the store, they come home, they mow the lawn maybe, whatever, I don't know what they do. They watch TV, they don't know their neighbor. They don't know where the food comes from, they don't eat good food. And this is what farming's about. A kind of way of living a relationship with the community, a relationship with the land, a relationship. It's all about relationship, really. Sayonara. This is party ice. The chickens are having a party. It's like, keep it down in there. The Tate Farm runs a CSA there, Community Supported Ag, and their members sign up to come every Tuesday and Friday to pick up their share of whatever the community harvest is for that day. So Kim has allowed me to use that same venue to have my customers come pick up the chicken. And then I can pick up a few CSA customers, you know, they come over and go, what is this, you know?
It's really the flavor. The chickens have terrific flavor. And when I read about all the chemicals and pesticides that's in conventionally raised poultry, you know, I just feel better about getting the passion of poultry.
I like to know where my food's coming from, And so knowing the person, there's an energy attached to all of that for me.
For us to have agriculture here, which I think we all value, people have to support it, including paying more possibly than it might cost to buy at the store.
What we're finding is a lot of the women farmers we're working with don't want to just be isolated out on their farm producing their crops. They want to have interactions with their customers and the people who are their eaters, and that gives them the vibrancy and motivation to keep doing what they're doing, because farming is really hard work. Seeing the customers and seeing their pleasure and joy of getting the food can keep you doing a job that's not easy but tough.
I like the retail part of it. It keeps my company floating, but I also get to meet interesting people. Our focus is on the green markets in New York. We come here 4 days a week.
We are at market. Saturday is the biggest market of the week. And every little inch of space is taken. Okay, this is our part of the market, and I am looking for Matt. Matt. Where am I going? Am I parking here?
Just wait a second.
Okay.
Where's my baby?
She's right here. Oh, she heard
Maxine!
you.
You don't want to stay with me?
You got customers, girl. We all become real close here.
How big's your tent?
Oh, it's 10 feet. That's it. It's small.
You can put it up here. You can put it up here. It's just going to be tight. That's all.
This is actually a fantastic spot. And we're here. So let's unload.
Like pressure.
I'm down.
Hi. How are you? Plain honey.
I absolutely can't imagine goat cheese with honey in it.
Oh, it's not bad. Okay. Now you know why I get a kick out of these people. It's been wonderful working in the city, meeting all new people, making friends, and meeting a whole range of really holistic people that are here. In the beginning, it was really hard. I mean, $80 a day was not considered a lot of money, and it's still getting there, but I've been able to manage to keep this farm going for 3 years. Some days, like everything else, you go, I can't take this anymore. What am I doing? And I've said this, like, what am I doing here? I could be just a 9-to-5 job employee. What am I doing being, ahead of a farm?
Drought, too much rain, equipment breaking, financial struggles, not to mention, losing my husband partway through, having to take over the whole business on my own and not feeling knowledgeable enough, experienced enough. I mean, really, I feel like on a regular basis, it sort of takes me to my knees.
It was very scary. I'm the main breadwinner of my family, and I knew that there was a great risk in doing this. I get a little bit of help obviously from Mike, and he's been helping support us, and my daughter, Leah, she's got a couple of different jobs going on right now. Yeah, we just work together and we make it work. I really don't think that it's important to be rich. I think it's important to just be able to pay your bills and have a rich life, and I feel like I have that here.
I work in Philly in my other job, and I'd like to figure out how to make a living farming, like a real living. There we go. Let's see. So I'm letting him know he's not getting as many chickens as I had scheduled because we lost 34 of them to heat. That's about $360 I lost by losing 34 birds. Choosing farming for real is like taking a vow of poverty. People have this nice image of the farm and, oh, shouldn't everybody be farmers? And they have no idea how hard it is and how hard you work for so little. And yet they want something cheap. $3.50 for a dozen eggs? Are you kidding? I'm like, no, I'm not kidding. But people are used to cheap food, and it doesn't matter how much money you need to live, there's a price ceiling. So many farmers I know live on, poverty level, actual cash flow wages. It's risky. Now I can fall back on my salary when something happens. Last year, I think we netted like $15,000, and I can live on that as long as nothing big happens. See, so, but I guess, I don't know if that's success or not, but.
Compared to other farmers, they had experienced different kinds of problems. They were somewhat isolated. They really didn't grow up on farms. They wanted to have information and they wanted to share it with other farmers. So working with Amy, we got together people who were women farmers.
And it's an organization dedicated to educational opportunities and networking and mentoring for women farmers.
Breeding her, but she wasn't bred. I took the sales manager out to the heifer barn because she's out of one of my best cow fields.
Well, today we brought together a number of women farmers.
This is the other 92.9.
Our goal really here is to have the women who are farmers meet each other, network with each other, learn from each other, and hopefully establish longer-term relationships so they'll be able to work with each other over the next few years.
Women have other concerns because usually they have off-farm jobs, they're taking care of the family, they're taking care of so many other things while they're trying to farm, and that's a hard thing to juggle. And a lot of times they're not even acknowledged as being the farmers. So if you get together with women, we all know we're farmers.
One of the comments that was read was that it's nice to get out and meet real people, women who understand farming issues, and women with shit on their shoes.
See my goats all laying, munching on their curd and just sitting there and just relaxing and enjoying their space. That's such a peaceful feeling. Just being able to breathe the fresh air and seeing the mountains, and it's just like, wow, this can't be any better.
This is where it's at for me. I mean, I absolutely love it. It's real. You feel like you're providing something to the people, besides just sitting at a desk job and doing a corporate world job. You feel like you're really doing something.
Something nice about seeing cows grazing in the field, I hadn't had them for a while, and I got them this spring. I was instantly happy. I thought, well, that'll tell you something, Lynn. You can't be without cows. Living down a dirt road is almost symbolic of the life you've chosen when you have a rural life, For me, I like it because it implies that you have to slow down, as evidenced by how hard I hit that pothole. And you just have to slow down and listen and pay attention. I like the sound of it when you're walking on it. It's crunchy and, I don't know, has texture, makes dust, makes mud. Some people don't like that, but I do. You're living large if you live down a dirt road.
Wait a second, I'm not sure.